Forget cringe. What are some great memories from middle school? I was confident back then. I did truth or dares. I asked girls out, all rejected me. People were nice and willing to make new friends. I almost lost my virginity. I chickened out and ran away. I got in fights. I used to play the trumpet. I didn't know what anime was. I used to have friends. I went through a tiny emo phase. I went to a theme park for the first time in my life. I cared about my friends. I had potential. I think middle school was my peak. Mother peeping, truth or dare. I remember coming up with plans with the homies to dare each other to kiss different girls. Oh dang. This post made me concerned because I realized I remember literally nothing about middle school. I mainly remember starting to fall behind in school, as I was getting bullied and closing up to the world. Just because asking this girl out backfired me too strongly. That was on the end of 6th grade. But it took 2 and some more years to actually see the bullying go down. It took me till about last year or so to understand it was bullying, regardless of it being non-physical. I tried bringing up memories by reading people's comments, but I just remember vague cringe overall. And some bad events. So sorry to hear that middle school wasn't the best time for you. I hope you're in a much better place now. Sometimes it's best to just let the past go anyway. One of my favorite memories from 8th grade is when a friend of mine showed me that, for some reason, our Chrome ebooks, yes, I'm that young, had a little LED light on the back that could light up in red, yellow or blue. We thought this was the coolest thing ever. But then it got even better. I downloaded an app on the Chromebook called Del Rave, which could light up the LED light in not 3 but 7 colors and play them in any pattern you wanted. So we both set ours to alternate between all 7 colors at the fastest speed possible. It looked like some sort of nightclub strobe thing. But the light was so small the teachers never noticed. Soon enough the entire school was doing it too. Every time we got out computers, the Del Rave disco started. Wow, that was fun. Okay, this is hilarious. For a kid who had acne and wasn't popular by any means, I got invited to a popular girl's birthday party and made out with a girl there. Was a nice confidence boost. Art class was legit. I miss how hilarious and interesting every day was. Adults are much more boring. I've never taken an art class past elementary school, but I'm considering choosing VA Comp as an elective next year. I'm in high school because I've heard art's really good for your mental health. I wish I did more art in high school. It was either art or choir for me, and I went to choir route, which I also enjoyed. But I think if I would have kept on drawing I could be really good by now. My orchestra class. Everyone there was so positive and nice, and we just had a lot of fun together. We had a kid who would hide inside a bass case all class. Eventually the teacher would see his cowboy boots sticking out the bottom and kick him out. LOL. Haha. The Extreme Tic-Tac-Toe Tournament during statewide testing. I scored the game-winning touchdown as time expired for the 7th grade championship. The 50. The 40. The 30. The 20. The 10. Touchdown. Every weekend we would go over to the house of one of my best friends. His mom would make us homemade authentic Italian food. Then we would either stay up playing video games or going out adventuring through his neighborhood. Lots of great times wandering through the water drainage system to reach the top of a hill with a great view of the greater Los Angeles County. The excitement of summer approaching mixed with the excitement over the new iPad Nano I was saving for. One of my teachers surprised me for my birthday with my friends. He organized everything and they got me very well. It started when I was playing a game on my computer and one of my friends was standing behind me for a whole minute before I noticed him. During 8th grade year, we were top dogs of the school and could basically pull off whatever speep we wanted if we were smart about it. One time, my friend stepped in mud that went up to her knees, waddled back into school after lunch, and went to town trying to wash off an enormous amount of mud in the locker room showers that nobody ever used. The showers were so old that the pipes didn't drain very well, so mud was everywhere. A mud swimming pool. By this point, my friend had to take her pants off and we was already late to class, so she just sat in the mud hysterically laughing to the point of tears. The PE teacher walked in, shook her head, and walked out. Another time a few classmates found some pairs of high heels in the dumpster and brought them to class. My teacher, instead of telling them to put the shoes away and listen, stopped class so we could go into the hallway and had the two boys compete in a walk-off. I miss those shenanigans. A boy I like sat next to me for a project and whispered in my ear hi _____. I'm GL. Before he could finish, my nose started bleeding because he smelled good, knew my name, and actually whispered in my ear. Best day ever. My first kiss. When a friend dared me to bring Mein Kampf to school. I joined a dance troupe and we had sexy truth or dare parties when the adults weren't around. My best friend spent the night with me once and we stayed up all night talking smack about people in class and dancing to Bewitched. 90% of mine were awful, but I met my best friend in middle school. She was smart as hell. She skipped a grade, so she's a year younger than me. One time in high school she did my geometry homework for me without me asking and I got a 100 for it. We have a weird dynamic of me roasting her for being a nerd and her roasting me for being dumb. 10 years later she's still my best friend. Love her to bits. Even when she texts me at 3 AM to complain about bad fanfictions. Becoming friends with my best friend throughout middle school to the end of high school. I miss him. And we catch up time to time. But it will never be the same as having all those classes together like we did in 8th grade. The first time I have had a girl say she liked me. Slow dance time. My friends and their dates circle in around me and my date. Are you guys gonna kiss? You two should totally kiss. Oh come on. Friend's date smooches him as if to show how easy it is. Kiss. I was being polite and resisting peer pressure. Then. My date. Well. Are you gonna kiss me or what? It was junior high when I went and there was nothing good about it other than a couple of hot teachers. Taking band to get out of class, but then finding out I loved to play the clarinet and it opened my world to music. Joined the handbell choir shortly after. Middle school was a whole mess for me. But I do remember me and my friend grouped together under a tree on the last day of school, 6th grade. And because we were absolute nerds, we were discussing our superhero names, identities, and powers. It's been 8 years. And sometimes I still use Miss Ninja as a username. Middle school? Yet. No. Misery. Better before. And after. Wait. One good one. My friend's brother got me and my friend onto the bus for the high school ski trip. Was awesome. He just signed us up and away we went. Was great. My school brought the hammer down hard on phones, so we all got cracked at playing cards and speep. Never lost a game of War or BS once. But that was 2 to 3 years ago and I've forgotten how to play. Still got my deck though. So this kid who was like half my size threatened to beat my ass. He was like 4'8", 100 pounds. And was a twig because he was dating my cheater yes in middle school ex-girlfriend and I told people about it. It was a great memory and I laugh at that part still to this day. I laugh even harder because I laughed in his face and he ran off. Later to text me and tell me that after an after-school thing I was involved in don't remember. Him and multiple adult men were going to beat me in the school parking lot with pipes. I continued to laugh and never saw him again. Or the group of dudes going to beat my ass. We got to watch the Colorado Rockies 2007 playoff games when they coincided during school hours in my homeroom. In addition, the uniform policy during their playoff push was temporarily changed to black, white, and purple from the usual blue. Rocktober was in full swing. The Rockies lost the World Series that year. But I'll always love those memories of me, my peers, and teachers cheering on our team together. I went on the school sailing trip with one of my best friends. There are so many memories but my favorite is sitting around the beach campfire on the last night and singing whatever songs anyone could play on the guitar. I was still in band. Each year, the concert band, chorus and orchestra would travel to all the elementary schools that fed into our middle school to perform for them as a way to encourage kids to start playing music. We would play 4 concerts each day and go to lunch at McDonald's. It was awesome for us. My best memory is slapping this girl's ass like ayo she was fine as hell. Touching a boob. We played soccer on the sporting grounds every recess in middle school. Was lots of fun. In high school all of that sadly ended. The guys were too concerned about looking clean and smelling good to impress the girls. No one wanted to get down and dirty of the football fields anymore. That's pretty much the same here but when it rains about 15 of the guys in my year play against 40 of the guys in the year below me. Usually we win. But we still slide tackle their asses. Playing Smash on my 7th grade teacher's GameCube with a bunch of boys in my class who I knew. I always played Kirby and trolled the living hell out of them. Even won sometimes. My arch nemesis in a way who I would always feel happy if I beat would play Fox. And he was really good. So any small victory felt awesome. I used to eat lunch with a group of the loser kids. We were an array of punks, goths, late bloomers, autistics and closeted LGBT kids. We sat on the floor in a dead-end hallway that had closed doors at either end so it was all ours and we would get rowdy and silly. Once we all started making rhythms on our lunch containers and formed an impromptu drum circle. Once we got hold of some balloons and took hilarious pics of several of us with them stuffed under our shirts like breasts. Occasionally teachers would come shout at us to keep it down but mostly we were free. It was great.